Everyone's excited.
My mouth gets dry. I start to sweat and I can't breathe.
Valentine's Day is just around the corner. And let's be real, a lot of us, we're going to be pretty lonely this Valentine's Day because of reasons. But if you're going to be lonely this Valentine's Day, why not settle around the fire with a nice, lewd, fanservice-y, ecchi video game? If you've followed my channel for any length of time, you know that I've played a lot of these fanservice-y games, and I thought it'd be fun to rank them. This video is inspired by another video I saw on YouTube from Yellow Super Nintendo, who ranks all the lewd and ecchi games he's played. It's a fun video and I thought it was a fun idea and I want to try it myself. But before we get into the list, we have to talk about what qualifies you to be on this list. For one, marketing. How much was the fan service played up for the marketing for either the main game or any kind of additional content? That's the big factor here. And the second part is, how much does fan service play within the game itself? Is it a core mechanic or is it kind of an afterthought and the marketing department really exaggerated things? Those are the two big things for this list, in my opinion at least. So it's totally subjective, but hey, it's a fun video. And for the record, just because a game is higher on the list than another game, that doesn't make it a good game. And you can see my reviews on my channel because I've played a lot of these games. And for the record, I'm only going with games I've played before, so if there's a game I'm missing, I just haven't played it. And let me know down there in the comments a game I haven't played before. And while you're down there, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell as well for notifications on future videos. That really helps the channel out. And you can also follow me on the social media, Twitter, Instagram at ZMings. And with that out of the way, let's begin.
Before we deliver these hearts, I'm gonna find the one that sums up my feelings for you. I love you. Too conventional. You're my man. Ooh, so close.
Senran Kagura is infamous for its fan service. Most girls smuggle watermelons under their shirts, and there's fetish fuel for every kink under the sun. For the core games at least, the writing and plots were pretty good. There was more to Senran Kagura besides the fan service, but it's still the first thing you think about when you hear anything about the series. Hey Nintendo, can you save Senran Kagura 7 from development hell, and put Rin as a playable character in Smash Ultimate? Dead or Alive is probably known for being a booby fighter more than a competitive fighter. Koei Tecmo tried to tone down the fan service in 6 to go esports, but that fucking failed. Hell, they even put Mai Shiranui in 6. Ignoring the core Dead or Alive games, the series has also had a volleyball spin-off where volleyball was not the focus. I don't even think the focus is on the fighting anymore because look at that DLC list. Because Koei Tecmo is fuck! Unless it's Neo, that game is great. Just because I mentioned Mai, let's talk about the King of Fighters. I love this series, and it does have a bunch of characters who are easy on the eyes. Nothing here is overly lewd other than Mai and Angel. Fanservice was never the focus, it was always a bonus to the awesome character designs and the fighting. Please, for the love of God, SNK, put rollback in 15. The Netcode and Samurai Showdown 2019 was worse than the Suicide Silence self-titled album. Like my Mai figure, she was only about 2,000 yen, 20 bucks, and pretty high quality stuff. A lot later than you probably expect. And here are my pits. They're pretty awesome. I said that marketing was a big factor in being in this video. Previous Street Fighter titles wouldn't have counted, but 5 does for the sheer amount of costumes there are that are clearly focused on the goods. When you can't play a costume because ESPN says so, you are on some shit. There's like a billion Chun-Li costumes that cater to everyone's fancy, and then you got Laura, Armika, and Jiri looking their best. Down to the girls, introducing Hot Ryu and Classic Alex. Not to mention Urian's banana hammock and the Greek god Gil. It doesn't get any better than this, folks. Like with the King of Fighters, fanservice was only a bonus to the fighting and the character designs, but hot damn if Capcom isn't making bank off the DLC costumes. Well, I'm on a fighting game kick, so I might as well talk about Blazblue. I'm going with Blazblue over Guilty Gear here because I feel like Blazblue embraces the cheesecake more. Just about every woman bar Rachel counts as a Miss Fanservice, and as supplemental material, you'd be forgiven if you thought Blazblue was an ecchi anime instead of a hardcore fighting game. Blazblue Cross Tag Battle even added Yumi from Senran Kagura to the roster. For the record, S is my favorite. What does S stand for anyway? So, S, whose name is an abbreviation of Embryo Storage. the hell's wrong with the Blazblue series? A rare Western example on this list, Skullgirls definitely has fanservice by the boatload, but the thing about it, it's contrasted against some legit horror elements that takes out some of the appeal. Valentine and Eliza are lookers, but I definitely would not go on a date with either of them. I think if they toned down either the fanservice or the horror elements, the series would have found a bigger audience. I personally find the uneven tone a turnoff rather than a charm point. Rounding out the fighters is Soulcalibur, and Soulcalibur is horny on main. Barring Hilda, every character has had their sex appeal dialed up to 11 and 6. If that is enough, you can make whatever you want in the character creator. Plus, the infamous Robot Babe 2B is DLC, and my girl Taki was looking as good as ever even if she's low tier. In-game, Nier Automata isn't too lewd other than a few weird camera angles. In terms of marketing, they knew what they were doing. If your director is asking for a zip of hentai for the lead character on Twitter, you hit gold. I wouldn't be surprised if a few people bought the game just for 2B's butt. Come for the butt, but stay for the gay robots, great plot, and great action. For the record, for this video, I actually had to hook up the Wii U for the first time in whenever, just to get footage for Bayonetta 2 and Shantae. I could get them on the Switch, but I'm having the Wii U, so easier just to hook up the Wii U again. You like my slimes? Another game known for its sexy lead, Bayonetta is a total campy rush, and I love it. They had the right idea here. There's a lot of nightmarish demons, really good lore, and style, and tying this all together like a dominatrix is the titular Bayonetta herself. She embraces the goods and adds a flair to the game that other action games don't have. That said, Bayonetta, please leave my special angels alone. They're special. Gacha games. Just gacha games in general. You want that waifu? You better pay, you sucker. Genshin Impact, Fire Emblem Heroes, Granblue, and especially Fate Grand Order advertise a lot of the fanservice for their campaigns. Fate might take the cake in this regard. I'm not bi, but if I was in that universe, I probably would be. This girl in particular seems ready to shag at the slightest provocation. Even Arxis is getting on the gacha action with Blazblue, and the art isn't even that good! Arxis, just put rollback into Blazblue Central Fiction already, you jerks. Might as well talk about Gus' bread and butter here, the Atelier series. If you've watched my previous videos about the Atelier games, you know I've been pretty meh on the series, and on the fan service front, it's kind of a letdown. Other than a few DLC outfits and Ryza's design, there's very little in the way of fan service in the series. And yeah, Ryza's design was definitely a big part in her game's marketing, but the series is tame otherwise unless you find this outfit appealing, in which case I am calling the cops.
Hey, how are you? Good. Why don't you have a seat right over there, please?
Another Western example on this list. I do like these games, and I do like the character designs. There's a lot of fan service in these games, but the thing is, it was never the focus, always a bonus. The Shantae games are known for their gameplay, their appealing graphics and music, and fun characters more than anything else. I think if the art style didn't look like a children's cartoon, this would be higher on the list, but as it stands, I think I'm going to give it a B ranking. Bullet Girls is my go-to punchline for fan service with no substance. If you took the cheesecake out of this title, you'd be left with a super mediocre third-person shooter that has little the way of engaging gameplay. Other than these weird training sequences, which basically comes down to mashing the button, the fan service in Bullet Girls wasn't anything special. There's a reason why games like Senran Kagura took off, while this game is left to weird fuckers like me who review these games. But then again, I bought the game, so the joke is on me. From professional horny bastard Kenichiro Takaki comes another waifu game. Jet Girls was more lighthearted than his previous works, and has bikini fan service by the boatload. That's fine, but other than the character designs, I didn't find much ecchi stuff in this title, and that girl is gonna have back problems. Along with Tokimeki Memorial, Sakura Wars was one of the original waifu games. I think the characters are well written and visually appealing, A few bath scenes and Anastasia and Shin Sakura Wars aside, the series is pretty tame, believe it or not. The charm point of Sakura Wars was being able to romance your anime waifu in an anime world when anime games weren't so common. But if you do want some fun, go look up Sakura Wars on Pixiv and knock yourself out. Galgum was stupid, let's be real. It's shamelessly horny and it knows it. And that's the perfect storm for a cheesecake game. It isn't trying to be some serious anime game, it's just having fun, and you know what? It is fun. Don't overthink it. Just pull the trigger and embrace the ecchi. Pull the trigger on my love gun, that is.
Love gun! See, Ronnie, his dick is the gun!
Saving the best for last. Omega Labyrinth Z is no stranger to controversy, as one of the games was barred rating in Europe and cancelled for a North American release. Why? Just look at it. This game knows what it wanted to be, and I salute it. I salute it, you perverted bastards. So there's my entirely subjective tier list on all the ecchi, lewd, fanservice games I've played. I was pretty liberal with the S rankings, maybe I could have been a bit stricter, but you know what? It's a fun video and it was fun to make. So to end this video, the question is, if you're making a product such as a game or a comic, do you need lewd content to sell? And I say, maybe, if you think the fan service factor will reach a broader audience. Well, I say, go for it and may the chips fall where they may. And for the record, I did make a tier list maker for the lewd games, for the ones in this video, and Yellow Super Nintendo's video, and some other games that none of us covered. It's down there in the description, and while you're down there, just, hit the subscribe button and the bell as well, because that helps the channel out a lot. And when you do make your list, why not show me on the social media at Twitter, Instagram at ZMangs, you know what it is. And with that, I will sign off for now. Stay safe everyone, happy Valentine's Day, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.